Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this big old knife, the Benchmade Contego. So, Contego means it's Latin for either I protect or I conceal. You're not going to be concealing this guy, so hopefully it's protecting something. But that's the name here, and I want to thank my buddies Frankie and Bert over at the Birdshot IV channel for sending this guy along for my consideration. They are really entertaining folks, good knife reviewers, and yeah, so anyways, there you go. And let's do a quick size comparison here. Here is your Spyderco Delica. So you can see the Contego is, to use the technical term, freaking huge. Here is your Ontario Rat number 2. Rat number 1 over here. And another knife that's in that freaking huge category, the ZT-0452CF. So you can actually see that the 452 is just about in line with the Contego here in terms of size. It's a very, very large knife, and it's deceptively so. You look at it in pictures and whatnot, and you think, oh, that could be reasonable, but no, it isn't. But that's okay. That's part of why we have to love it. So, there you go. Let's go on ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of your Benchmade Contego. Okay, so on the good side, and by the way, pardon my voice, I'm just kind of getting over a cold here, but anyways, on the good side, the ergonomics on this knife are very good. The thumb stud is not quite where I want it, but aside from that, and that even still, I just want it a little further back, but I understand there's a good functional reason for it being here rather than further out. It doesn't get in the cutting path. But anyways, the ergonomics on this knife are remarkably good to me. It has all the right humps in all the right places. It fits in the hand nicely. It just locks in there. This fits really well, and I've got smaller hands than I think most, and so I think this will probably be even better for a larger individual. So there you go. The ergonomics on this knife are really pretty excellent. Probably the best I've had in a Benchmade. I'll be real here. Next thing, the back of this guy here has a glass breaker tip. And, you know, I don't have any need for a glass breaker tip, and I don't think a lot of people do. But this is fairly unobtrusive. It's not really a problem. You've got it if you need it for whatever the heck reason. I seem to be the only person in the EDC world who doesn't need glass breaker tips. But nonetheless, it's there, and it's not a big problem, so I'll call it good. Why not, right? Next thing, this knife is absolutely beefy. 100%. And it's beefy for a couple of reasons. I mean, the size of it, the blade thickness is pretty beefy, but mostly it's got these full stainless steel liners. You can see here that all throughout the knife is a stainless steel lining, basically. Unlike, for instance, on your Benchmade 940, where the steel portion in the liners is relatively smaller, or on your 941, that's mostly carbon fiber. This is absolutely beefy. It's got steel on every side, and it's built in such a way that this could probably re-enter the atmosphere and be just fine. You'd pick it out of the desert floor in a 6-foot crater, and you'd have a Benchmade Contego. Can't argue with that. So the beefitude of this knife is beyond question. This is a great knife for work in a situation where you're gonna beat on it. The axis lock too. So I like that very much. That said, they've been intelligent about it in that they've tried to do a little skeletonization on the liners to reduce the weight here. Use a flashlight to show you that off. See how right inside there are little holes drilled in the liners? Yeah, that reduces weight and maintains the balance. And the balance of this knife is very good, by the way. It's balanced right about here. So, I mean, they've done a good job making a beefy knife. It's not insane, it's just well built. Then finally, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this about a Benchmade, but the price is just fine. At $180, this actually works. Because you've got G10 here, full steel liners, and then the steel is M4, which is not a low-end steel by any stretch of the imagination, and so for $10 more than the Benchmade 940, which I do consider seriously overpriced, you get something that is much more compelling and much better built, frankly. The price here is A-okay. I have no objection to $180 for this knife. So that's the good on this guy, is the ergonomics are good, and it's got a glass breaker if you need it. It's absolutely beefy with full liners that have been skeletonized to reduce weight and give good balance, and the price is great. Let's talk what about the great. So on the great side, for me at least, is the blade. this blade has a whole lot going for it. It is really well designed. First off, I do love the shape of this blade in that it's got a nice area of flatness. For some cutting, it's got some belly to it as well. This reverse tanto style gives it a lot of strength in the tip area. The swedge is nice. This is just a really nicely designed blade on a knife. I think this is a very good approach for everyday carry, particularly if you're doing harder work with it. I love this blade shape a lot on the Benchmade 940, and they've kept it on here, which is good. Next thing about it is the thickness. Let's compare it to a Spyderco PM2, and actually, I forgot that in the size comparison here, just so you get a sense. The Contego really is a lot bigger. But in terms of thickness, actually, the Contego blade is just about as thick as the thickest portion of the PM2 here. Use that for a little bit more comparison. I mean, they're both thick knives, 100%, but this guy, because the blade is fairly wide, it doesn't feel that terrible. I mean, sure, it's not going to be God's gift to slicing. It is definitely a little bit thick behind the edge, and you can improve that by reprofiling the edge a little bit. But nonetheless, it's thick enough that you're not going to hurt it, but it's not so thick that it's well, stupid. So I appreciate that very much. We're not looking at a Medford knife here. So, oh, wait a second, did I just say that out loud? Never mind then. The DLC on here actually serves a purpose, because the steel on this guy is CPM M4. M4 is a beastly steel. M4 is a steel that I respect and am afraid of. It takes a long time to sharpen, but it is incredibly wear-resistant. It is a great, solid stainless steel. And the DLC on this guy protects the M4, because M4's biggest disadvantage is that it's not very rust-resistant whatsoever. And the DLC here will help to protect the M4 from the elements. So, I mean, overall, this blade right here is really impressive. They have done a great job making a damn near perfect hard-use sort of everyday carry blade. This is a great blade, 100%, and God, do I love M4. So that's what's great about this knife, is the blade. Let's go on ahead and talk about the bad. So on the bad side, first off, the thumb stud is borderline in the way. You can see here that there's a little bit of the plunge grind kind of angles you away from the thumb stud here, but it is very possible to get hung up on your thumb stud as you're cutting into something, particularly if you're cutting into something softer. There's not really a way around that. Ergonomically speaking, already the thumb stud is a little bit high, and you might actually be able to remove the thumb stud and then just rely on axis lock opening, where you pull it out and then kind of flick the blade out. But nonetheless, the thumb stud is almost in the way, and that's a little bit unfortunate. But not a huge deal. Compared to, say, the Benchmade Rift or your Southern Dolk, it's not really a big deal. Next issue that is a bigger deal is that this knife is a pain in the neck to take down. As you saw on the disassembly video, holy crap, it's not that. Well, I mean, just Benchmade axis locks suck for disassembly and maintenance. You need to do it every so often, but it's not something that's really joyful. Takes me 35 minutes. You know, you can do it, but it's just, you got to keep that one in mind, that relative to some of your less complicated knives, this one's going to be a bit of a pain. Next thing is that this knife is really a little bit scary, especially in this configuration. I mean, it is a huge blade. It is kind of murdery. It is, I mean, this knife is absolutely ridiculous and over the top. And speaking of over the top, it is also huge and heavy. I mean, look at this guy in the pocket relative to, say, your Spyderco Delica. This is huge. Both in terms of width and in terms of just overall size, compared to your Spyderco PM2. I mean, this guy is, again, slightly wider at its widest point and way longer. This is a huge freaking knife. Absolutely 100% huge. And it's also pretty heavy. Let's go ahead and throw it on the scale here. You're looking at 5.8 ounces, which is a lot. Compared to, and given this is a carbon fiber PM2, 3.6 ounces here. I mean, this is a lot of weight. Or another comparably sized knife, the ZT452CF 4.3 ounces. This is heavy. You're gonna feel it all damn day in your pocket. This just doesn't carry all that well in the pocket. It's not terrible because, it's got a nice deep carry clip and largely it stays out of your way, but it's huge and it's heavy. So you gotta keep that in mind. That's gotta be something you're okay with if you buy this knife. So that's what's bad about this knife, is that the thumb stud is borderline in the way. It's kind of a pain in the neck to take apart, and it is heavy, it is a little scary, and it is huge. Absolutely huge. Let's talk about the ugly. Two ugly things here. First off, the texturing is out of control on this knife. I mean, you've got the texturing here and here, as well as texturing here, here, and here, and here, which basically means that this knife is not going anywhere when it's in your hand, but unfortunately it's going to be slowly digesting your hand as you're using it. That's not a great thing. Maybe it's great if you're wearing gloves or if you're working on frozen oil field next to the Vaseline factory. This may be great for you, but at the same time, for most people, for most EDCs, it's just way overdone. And as a result, it's also going to be chewing on whatever's in your pocket. As this guy's hanging, it's going to be chewing on your wallet here, and every time you go past it into the texturing here is just ugly. They need to tone that down a little bit, I feel like. But maybe I'm not the target market. Other ugly thing is that Benchmade itself is having a really rough time lately. It's an American company. They used to make really great stuff, and they still have great designs, but unfortunately, their standards have really gone down, and their quality control team, as near as anyone can tell, hasn't shown up for a couple of years. So, they are shipping knives that do not belong on the market. You get a lot of Benchmades now are coming with side-to-side blade play, or coming with terribly unscented blades, where the blade sits way to one side or the other. And as a result, if you're going to buy one of these, I recommend that you go down to a brick-and-mortar dealer and actually pick out one that doesn't have side-to-side or vertical blade play, that is well-scented, and where the action is relatively free-swinging. It doesn't have to be perfect, and some improvement will happen with use, but you simply cannot trust Benchmade to ship you a good knife right now. They are really, really struggling in that way. Hopefully they'll get better about that, but as of right now, I've seen no sign that they're working to improve that. So that's the ugly things about this, is that too much texturing on this guy, and you really need to make sure you get a good one, because Benchmade isn't going to help you out there. Let's go to the final conclusions. Conclusions. This is a huge and ridiculous blade. Absolutely 100%. It is heavy, it is beefy, it is over-textured, and it is a massive chunk of a hardcore steel. And as a result, I personally have zero reason to own this knife. And every time I carried this knife for review, I vaguely regretted my choices, because it's huge, it's murdery, it was digesting my pocket as well as my hand when I put my hand in my pocket. But the thing is, that doesn't mean it's a bad knife. This could be precisely the tool that somebody needs. This is a great tool knife. It has a great steel, it has a great blade design, it's got a great handle, and, the mechanism is great for a lot of things. I mean, it is a heavy, beefy, over-textured, massive chunk of steel. That's fundamentally what it does. And if that sounds like what you need, if you were thinking to yourself, you know what, Nick, I need a heavy, beefy, overly textured, massive chunk of steel, then by God do I have something for you here. This is a great knife in a lot of ways for that very specific purpose. So if you can get one of these guys with good quality control, and you're going to have to do the QC yourself, this is a damn good choice. But, for me, it makes zero sense. So that's where I'm going to leave the Contego here. It's heavy, it's beefy, it's over-textured, it's massive. But for the right person in the right situation, this could be an absolutely solid gem. So there you go. It's an impressive knife that's not for me in any way, shape, or form. But it may be for you. If you've got one and you use it regularly and you love it, let me know what you do with it. I know the Bird from Birdshot IV absolutely loved this knife too. So either way, not every knife has to be for Nick, but it's still pretty damn solid. There you go. Hope this was interesting. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of the day, and may the Contego protect you in the future. Latin pun. Nice. Bye now.